Training game talent, you know what? It's very simple. That's why I take talents most of the time in reality. I'd rather train them a little bit in reality in my company. So that's more the second approach of hiring. You hire guys like me. Basically, guys that do that all day and have been doing that for a long time and I know how to teach. And basically you get them and you make them teach your team and that's it. Like I'm gonna do for those Brazilian tomorrow pretty much. They contact us just for that. To solve a problem and we teach them and that's pretty much it. Okay? So yes, and I will do that. Okay? You can hire subcontract companies for that. You don't have to have them in the house. It's better if it's your lead. If you can have your lead of each department be a great teacher at the same time, that's awesome. It's awesome. And if the rest of all the members can teach each other's, have that atmosphere, that's unbelievable. And you can create that. I'll come to that after. Okay, but that's one of the main things you're gonna want to really achieve. With training. Okay, it's kind of a team effort in reality. Everybody's not a competition because that becomes obnoxious after a while. And actually destruction. I'm saying on yourself. All right, on your team because the problem with the competition is keep building and building and building. So obviously at one point it's gonna explode. All right, that's not good. Okay, it is more of a knowledge, a respect knowledge, and a curiosity skill. You have all your team is curious and want to become better, wants to know. So everybody is working all together to figure it out all the time. That's what you want to install in your team. Very hard. You need the people that are lead to be extremely good and knowledgeable at their work, so they feel very safe and confident. So they're not a bunch of brats that show off. Me, I'm the best and blah blah blah. See, I'm coming back to my coach, my tennis coach. The man is so good at tennis on the tour, was so strong that he's safe about his knowledge. I'm very safe about my 3D knowledge. Because I've done it for so long, I know a lot of it, I'm saying? I don't know everything, but I know quite a bit, So I feel very safe. You're not going to see me put down other people in my team, just to prove that I'm smarter and better in 3D than them. I know where my level is. You know what I'm saying? I know I'm better than them. I'm saying? I've done it before them, I can see it. When I was discussing with another guy yesterday at ASU about 3D, about the pipeline animation, he saw right away. I knew mocap, like, that's my pipeline. He was like, yeah, that's fine. He this stuff, man. There was no tension between him and me. I didn't like, hey, I'm better than you and do it my way and stuff like that. No, And I'll know that he's very strong at something else, and he'll teach me that. When you're good, you feel safe, and you need to get into your team, into the mood that's what's good. If you're a smart person, you don't want to be better than the others. You just want to learn. You want to be the best you can be. You don't want to be better than the other. You want to be the best of yourself. You want to beat yourself. That's what you need to install in the team. It's really hard. And that's done by using respect. People respect you for who you are and because you treat them properly as human beings. You know what I'm saying? And because of that, they will treat you properly. And that's what I install in my class here, in all my classes. And come to my classes, you will see my large classes, and you will see how much I respect my students and how much they respect me. And it's really cool because we have a super cool understanding. Like I said, I received an email yesterday from two of my students, the same type of same class, about that infinite geometry software that I showed them. Say, hey, check that out, Arno, man. I just saw that in those magazines, man. You might be interested. And I didn't know that knowledge. So they could be like, hey, man, you're so much better than you and make fun of me in class. But no. They decided to share with me the knowledge because I shared with them, and they know I know my stuff and I respect what they know. I don't take them for idiots, because they're not. Because in reality, people are not idiots. People just don't have the knowledge, the message that you already have. If they have the message that you have, and they know it now, they do the same thing that you, hey, here you go. You know what I'm saying? So that's the way you install that system in your team, okay? And I think it's very important, okay? It's very hard. So you need to be very good at what you do, and you need to be fair with people in every way you treat them, all right? You can't be a boss. We talked about that before, all right? Like that story, the 3 months of health insurance, because I'm leaving UAT, I'm going to UAT. I'm a new employee because it's a state thing. There's a new state law that says 90 days without insurance. My kid is diabetic type 1. He will die without health insurance. You know what? AAT was really cool. UAT said, you know what? We'll stop you the 2nd of September. Don't worry. You'll have insurance all the way to the end of September, first of all. You know, very fair, nice. I appreciate that. Treat me well. UAT, ASU, my boss at ASU just said, you know what? I don't understand. I have a special form for that. Tell me how much it will cost to take Cobra for 90 days. I'll pay for it. Right away, I have a respect for him. He did the right thing. He treated me properly, you know. That creates a good communication and a good way of business, and that doesn't get deeper than that, man. Because we're all human beings and we all have life, and that's it. Okay? One day you can be on top, one day you can be at the bottom. Trust me, I've been in way all those situations, all right? So I know it very well. And the better you know that, you understand that earlier, the better off you are. And the better person you are. What the heck? Better person you are. Okay? Picking leads, you know. Picking leads is pretty hard. Okay? You want people that can close things. Closers. Alright? You want people that communicate well, that are fairly disciplined. You know, because they're gonna have to discipline the other, install a system basically to make things happen and to finish it up. If they're not disciplined themselves, that won't work very well. I have tendency to take people that have leads that have school degrees. That's why I tell my students, you know what, the big secret is that you can get a job in the industry without degrees. Okay, in the game industry, the movie industry, you don't need degrees. Alright? You need to be good at what you're doing. You need to be a great artist or a great coder, you know what I'm saying? But if you want to pass just the level of the worker in the team and become a lead, you need to have a degree. Because this is where you become managing. Managing requires systems, disciplines, and that's not learned like that on the fly. Okay? Unless you're fairly smart and you do it for a very long time. And I will give you again an example. David, my buddy. David Westman, done it for a very long time, and his discipline is extremely strict in video game. Alright? Close to be anal master, alright? For me. But, you know, because he's very smart. Okay? But besides that, it's really hard to find people like that. So you really want to pick them up well, and I usually do that. People that don't get too emotionally involved either, okay? They stay pretty cool, so they don't get crazy real quick, too quick, okay? And I say that because I have tendency myself to get emotionally involved a little too fast. So my wife already cooled me down. I always try to talk to myself before saying, you know what, I'll chill out, I don't know, okay? You will see that artists will be more emotional, coder will be a little more crazy, you know, and coder will be more shy and introverted. Instead of being, the others are more extroverted, basically. Okay, and the businessmen are mainly a lot of advertisement are extroverted and so forth. Okay, and most of businessmen are extroverted. All right. That's pretty much that for the leads, okay? They need to have a really strong knowledge. We talked about that earlier for teaching the others and so forth, and for picking up the pipeline, basically, also. Though very often, my lead are not my pipeline. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes I take guys that's all they know to do, basically. They're just good at that. I know I'm really good at pipelines. That's one thing I've been doing for a very long time, and people ask me to do. There's something I like to do, all right? That's why, again, they asked me for that Brazil company. Like, look at the pipeline right away. Tell me if it's good or wrong, you know. And it was fairly good, frankly. It was one thing, but it was fairly good. Okay, team motivation, we talked about it earlier, okay? So the motivation is the game itself, obviously. Killer game, you got to put them into it. You know, that's what motivates them. Obviously, it's very, very important. And it's fun. You do it in a fun way. You work hard, but we do it fun. You know what I'm saying? It's a controlled fun in reality. Okay? It's a fun for adults, basically. okay, that are working, okay, but it needs to stay fun because it is a video game and it's a game, and the game part is to be fun. Or or not, you do simulations, and that's a different business, okay. So yeah, and the motivation, salaries is always a motivation, that's for sure. We talked about being tough or not on your team, that's a tool of motivation also. And also friendship is a motivation. Again, if your boss treats you well and does the right thing, you are going to go to death for him. You got to do a lot of things for him because you believe he's defending you, he's doing the right thing, and he helped you. I mean, those guys are helping me at UAT. Trust me, if they come knocking on my door, say, you know what, I don't know. If they come at the beginning of September and say, you know what, we just lost the professor and we need 2 classes taking over, we lose 60 students, it's just, they're not going to graduate, blah, blah, blah. You know what, I will come back right away. I will do my possible to teach those 2 classes, take over the mid-semester, just to help them. Because UAT has treated me well over the years, and my family has prospered properly because of them. You know, and that's, for me, a reason to go help them. You know, so again, you know, make your business this way. All right, and that gets to the last thing, is the quality of life. All those things in IT have a repercussion on how you have a life quality inside your projects. Okay, and we talked about that. The stricter you get, the more you tie up noose on, on them, the tighter you get them, the worse your quality of life is going to become. Okay, the looser you are, the better quality of life, but the worse that gets at one point. There's a threshold. It is to be, just like I said a couple of minutes ago, a controlled, fun environment. And the word controlled fun is important because that keeps it in the middle of the ballpark. If you get too controlled, that's an extreme, and that doesn't work anymore for the reason that people don't like you anymore, are not emotionally involved the right way anymore. Okay? If it goes the other way, it's too loose, then there's no rules anymore, there is no constraint anymore, it's blah, crazy, and nobody does anything, there's no coordination, you won't finalize your work. You will not get a final product. And if you do, it won't be very good. You get one, all right? So what you want is for sure to control it. And that's where you need to be freaking good. You need to be a guru. That's why you need to be a guru in your business. Because the control like that comes only, like I talked earlier, by having the knowledge, the respect of the people, by doing the right thing, and that's it. It doesn't get deeper than that. If the people in your team see that you're doing the right thing, and I'm talking not only for them, I'm talking business-wise too, that your pipeline is the real thing, because they know their business too. Okay, they're just not your boss. They're just not there yet. But most likely you hire them because they know their stuff. So they'll see what you're doing or not, and they'll talk with others, all right? And if they'll figure that sucks, then you'll lose their esteem. You'll lose their respect in that way too. But it's not only the way you treat them for the communication relation, it's also the technical thing too about the project itself, all right? And if you are answering email in times, you know what I'm saying? If you come to work in time, if you actually work, if they see you work all the time, they'll have tendency to work all the time. If you never work and go play golf every day or play video game all day, they'll do what you do. Because they'll figure out, well, if my boss does that, well, that's what I should be doing too. Alright? So it's very important that you figure out your environment very well, and that it looks very organic, but it's extremely thought process. All right, that you have thought about it a lot, all the time. I go in my jacuzzi, sit for an hour in my spa. I have to for my legs and stuff like that. And think every day about my project and every situation of what's going on. And if I'm getting that situation, what are the different reactions and different solutions and things that I can do? And I replay all those scenarios to the end, multiple times. And I would say that I'm getting recorded even after drinking, because after drinking, I do it in 2 ways. Even I'm tired or not, because I got a different approach at that point. So I look again at it all the time. until I figured out the best approach for my athlete situation. And that's the only way it works. If I rush stuff, it doesn't work very well. Alright? Do you have any questions? No? This is the hard part. Because there's no real book about it, there's no real, it's not the game doc like we did or the pitch that we did. A lot of stuff that we did since the beginning is really bang, 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 bang. You read the chapters, you go through what they say, pretty much you follow that system and that's it and you're good to go. Alright? That is, you need to know those systems and go past that. You need to master the systems so people don't see there is a system basically. You know what I'm saying? That's what it gets onto it. You need to be so much better than that you apply the system without them seeing it's a system and it's a disciplinary system. Don't get deeper than that. Because you're just it's so much in control of your stuff. That's it. Okay? So make sure you do all your stuff.